So Summer Games Fest 2024 just wrapped up. Initially, I was jotting down all of the games. I planned on talking about everything, but about halfway through the show, I realized it's probably not a good idea because I'm probably going to be a bit too negative about some of these games and maybe people are interested in them. So instead, we're going to focus on the stuff that I was interested in, what I thought about the stuff I was interested in, and then what my problems were with this show. If it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button. We're starting things off with Lego Horizon Adventures. Yes, the Lego Horizon game is indeed coming out, as was heavily rumored. It looks okay. Aloy is not an interesting character to me. And when it comes to, games of this style, Lego games in general, like I have to be interested in the source material in order to be interested in the game. It's obviously, very lighthearted. Aloy is like building little towns and stuff with like dance parties. It's got that Lego sort of humor to it, that Lego sort of vibe to it. It looks fine. It's coming out on PlayStation 5. It's coming out on PC. And it's coming out on Nintendo Switch. Spoiler alert, this was the biggest surprise of the show. A first-party Sony game that's not MLB The Show that was mandated by baseball, the Major League Baseball Association to be put onto everything. No, no, no. This is a Sony first-party property that's going to show up on the Nintendo Switch. There is no Xbox version of the game, but what the hell is going on? What? That was a complete surprise to me, and I understand. It's obviously, not a big first-party Sony title, but it is a big first-party Sony IP that is now going to be put onto the Nintendo Switch. I thought that was a very shocking announcement, and something that definitely is going to raise some eyebrows among a lot of people when it comes to the future of PlayStation, as far as potentially putting games on the Nintendo Switch. Next up, we had Star Wars Outlaws. And look, I get it. A lot of people, they think this game's going to suck. They think the chick is ugly. I mean, the gameplay that they showed, the trailer that they showed, it looked good. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say this is the greatest thing ever or something like that, but I did think it looked pretty good. There was a bunch of variety in how the game plays. Like they showed, some stealth stuff with it. They showed outer space stuff with it, bike stuff. The world itself looks cool. Lando was in there as well. I'm still interested in this game. I know Ubisoft people are hesitant with their games, but when they make a good game, they make a good game, and I think this has potential to be pretty good. I don't think it's going to be Game of the Year material or anything like that. Obviously, Star Wars is having quite an issue with stuff like the Acolyte right now, but maybe this is something that Star Wars needs, something that, is actually a pretty fun game. I like what I see from this. We're going to be learning more at Ubisoft's presentation. So that was, something, I guess. Batman. The Batman MetaQuest game, Arkham something or another. I forget what it's called. I am buying a MetaQuest 3 for this game. Rat King is the main bad guy in it. It was a story trailer. They had smashing pumpkins, bullets with butterfly wings, without lyrics playing. It was kind of a weird version of it, but there's no gameplay. And the gameplay is not going to be shown for this until Gamescom, which is in October. And this is supposed to come out this year. I don't know. It was kind of disappointing to me because I was so excited to see Batman here. And we didn't really see Batman here. Next up was some Street Fighter 6 DLC content. There are some Fatal Fury characters being added into the game, along with a weird sort of robot brought back from the dead M. Bison thing. I don't know. He wasn't wearing his hat. Put on the hat, please. I don't know. That's kind of neat, though. Obviously, it's just DLC. They did show off Dragon Ball. The new Dragon Ball game, Sparkling Zero, comes out on October 11th for the Xbox and the PlayStation 5, along with PC. I'm not a Dragon Ball fan or anything like that. It looked kind of cool, but I don't know what the hell's going on, so I'm not going to act like I'm super interested in it or that I'm going to start to follow it or anything like that. We did get a glimpse of Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. I'm someone who was not a big Fatal Fury fan at the time of its heyday, but in retrospect, I've definitely grown to appreciate them because of that MVS arcade, home arcade cabinet that I ended up picking up. And I'm kind of confused as to why this wasn't just alongside of the Street Fighter stuff, but it looks awesome. The art style reminds me a lot of Street Fighter 4, which I was actually a pretty big fan of. It was just a little snippet. There were some massive breasts in there as well, but I thought it looked cool. It's a 2025 game. And then was probably like the biggest new announcement for me personally at this show was a new Power Rangers game, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. Yes, we're going back to when I was a kid, when Power Rangers first burst onto the scene, and this looks fucking awesome. It's classic Power Rangers. You got Rita, you got Goldar, you got the Megazord. It looks like a 16-bit game on like crack cocaine. There's like big sprites and a lot of putties flying around and stuff like that. It's the 5 original Rangers, no Green Ranger, but he's going to be like an unlockable or some shit like that. It looks like a 16-bit game on like crack cocaine. Just absolutely awesome. This was the best thing that I saw at the show. I cannot wait to play this. Collector's edition, whatever. I'll buy it. Look, I'll buy it, pal. You've got me. You've got me by the balls with this game, and I want more from it. Mighty Morphin, Power Rangers, Rita's Rewind, hitting all those classic nostalgic buttons. Next game I want to talk about is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I never played Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. I've heard good things about the game. Graphically speaking, this game looks very impressive. They showed some different stuff with it. Lock picking, murder, a first-person perspective, sex. There was like a woman getting railed in the thing. Like, what if there was a kid watching it? Kind of some Elder Scrolls, Witcher vibes with kind of the world that they have, kind of like this medieval times world, which we start to see this more and more with other games. The combat itself looks like very weighted and heavy, but I think it looks pretty cool. It looks kind of brutal. It's a 2024 game, and I'm going to be real with you. I am interested in this. I might end up trying to get a review copy of it. If not, I will go out and buy it because I do want to check out this game. Slitterhead from the creator of Silent Hill was next, and it's funny. In my notes, I say it's probably going to be better than the Silent Hill 2 remake. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of weird shit happening in this trailer. You take control of like other people with like against like weird creatures. Like it looks kind of cool, but it looked very janky. Like it almost reminded me a bit of Siren. I don't know if you ever played Siren, but like Siren was a PlayStation 2 Japanese horror game, and this is definitely a very Japanese style of horror. But it had like this weird vision mechanic where you could like see what the enemies were seeing in order to hide from them. But instead, the vision mechanic is like you take on other people and like you mold weapons out of your body. I don't know. It looks absolutely bizarre, and I don't know. It's either going to be like really good or like really bad. And I don't think that there is really much middle ground with that. It comes out on November 8th. So yeah, and then this is the point where I stopped writing down everything and I just started to focus on the things that I was interested in. Sonic X Shadows Generations comes out on October 25th. And honestly, it looks great. The Shadow stuff looks really neat. Looks like a welcome addition. I really can't wait to play this game. Like, I know it's just Sonic Generations with some additional content, but very cool. I'm definitely very interested in playing this. I am a Sonic fan, so, that's pretty dope. We did get Skate. Oh, God. What have they done to you? This looks like a cheap mobile skateboarding game with a bunch of people playing it at once. This is not what I want. And I'm sure there are people out there who say, oh, this looks awesome. This is what Skate needed. And maybe it does to some degree. But for me personally, I don't know. It just looks cheap. It says it's pre-alpha. There's going to be an open beta test coming this summer as well. Like, it's very community driven. I don't know. I just thought that this was, it's not what I wanted to see. And then our final two games were Monster Hunter Wilds and Phantom Blade Zero. Both games that we've seen before. Monster Hunter Wilds, we just saw at the Sony State of Play event. Phantom Blade Zero is a game that it's been a little bit since we've seen it, but I mean, it's one of those ninja games that's based on enemies with a life bar. Like, is this a whole new genre? Like, I feel like there's a ton of games like this, and there was no like big surprise ending or anything like that. And I know I named a lot of games here, and a lot of these games I am interested in. But this was a 2-hour presentation, and there was just so much random stuff, and I get it. Okay, gaming is for everyone. The cutesy, cozy, artsy fartsy games, they're not going to hit with me. And I probably, once in a while one will hit with me, but most of the time they won't. I understand there's going to be a lot of people that enjoy them, but this show, much like every Keighley show, had just so much padding. There was like commercial breaks where it's like, is this a game reveal for the show, or is this a commercial? And like Jeff would come back and be like, all right, we're back at Summer Games Fest. Like, it just felt very bloated. It felt extremely bloated. There was a lot of quirky stuff there. People are probably going to be in the comments, why aren't you talking about the Alan Wake 2 stuff? I mean, it looks cool, but it's very quirky. I still haven't picked up Alan Wake 2, so expansion stuff, that's not really going to hit with me. But there was just a lot of weird games here. Honkai Star Rail. There was Killer Bean, some climbing game called Karen, and like this was so bizarre to me. And like these two people get on stage, some French people, and they're like, "This is all in game. This is gameplay. This is not CGI." So I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, yo, this game's gonna have some crazy graphics, and it's just like some cell shaded game, and I'm like, bro, I don't think you had to preface that. Like, I don't know. There was just too much fluff for me, too much stuff that didn't necessarily hit with me, and it just felt like, there was no sort of a bar set, like a quality standard. It was kind of like, if you want to be a part of the show, you can be a part of this show. And considering how much Jeff himself charges people to put their trailers on this show, it's almost like, is he just taking money from these people? Because some of these games are not going to be super successful. And, there's a time and a place for games to be shown like these. And I don't know that this is it. This is where everyone is watching. Everyone is watching this, okay? The broad landscape of gaming. And the broad landscape of gaming, they're expecting a certain level of polish and quality with games. But that's kind of the way the gaming industry is going now. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. It wasn't good. It was mediocre, I guess. Like, the Power Ranger stuff was cool. Lego Horizon, I thought, was a big thing. But, like, saying that Batman is going to be there and then showing just, like, an in-engine sort of story thing, just basically saying, hey, Rat King's going to be here. Oh, yeah, if you want to see gameplay, you got to wait a while. A lot of CG trailers, a lot of smaller games. I don't know. It could have been an hour long with a lot of heavy hitters, a few smaller games sprinkled in there, because I'm not trying to diminish what smaller games are, but you have to be realistic, especially if you're a marketing team for some of these smaller games. You don't want to blow your whole marketing budget showing a trailer at Summer Games Fest when it might not be the right audience for you. That's all I'm going to say about it. But, it shouldn't have been this long. There was some cool stuff, but overall, bring back E3, man. Jeffrey, we gotta have a chat, buddy. Let me know in the comment section down below. What did you think of Summer Games Fest? Was it hitting on all cylinders for you? I've seen some people being way more negative with me with this than I have, so I don't want to hear no shit from anybody. Hit subscribe if you are new, and as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Give me your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.